Hello and welcome to my channel On the Hook Crochet, where we talk about wearable crochet style, and let's find out what's been on the hook. Today is it's finally here. I'm releasing the beautiful U pattern today. Today is Thursday, November 11, 2021, and I think it's been a full year since y'all had asked me to release this pattern, so I am doing so today. Wanted to show you a couple of differences between the two that I've actually finished and the one that I had, which was partially finished. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way the sleeves went, so I'm ripping that out. It's too nice a fabric to just throw away, so I need to rip it out and start again making something else. But this is what the pattern looks like. I have a picture of myself in the original Beautiful You with the Mrs. Crosby yarn, which I will be ripping this out. I didn't like the way it fits, so I'm going to rip it out. And then this is the newest version. I really like this one. This is the Chloe version, and that yarn is Chloe from Yarn Bee. It is sold at Hobby Lobby. Love Hobby Lobby. They have some beautiful yarns, and I just happened upon this. This is a really nice yarn. The color is Golden Sunset, as I've said before. If you've been with me any length of time, you will have seen me talk about this. This is 70% wool, 30% acrylic. Very, very beautiful yarn, and this was the one ball I had left over. So it took 4 balls for me to make this blouse, and this is the Beautiful You in a size 4, which really behaves like a DK. It's not as, I shouldn't say as thick, but it's not as heavy as a 4-weight yarn, but it's called a 4-weight yarn. So I went with that, and it really behaves more like a DK. So you could use a DK, and it would look probably very similar to this. Now, I wanted to show you a couple things about this. I had this actually on in my last video, and I'll put a link to that at the end of this show because I did talk about this quite a bit. I modeled it for you so you can see what it looks like with a pair of pants and just to see how long it is and everything. But I wanted to show this to you on Crystal. She wanted to model this, so I thought I'll let Crystal model this and she can show you all the beautiful things about Beautiful You pattern. This is, of course, a pattern where the sleeves are crocheted right into the body, so you don't have to crochet any sleeves onto the sweater. You just stop right here and then you chain out and you'll be crocheting across. Now there are a couple of little things that you need to know, and those are in the pattern as well, as far as how to make your sleeves the same width, because somehow if you chain out and you start crocheting, the number of rows is different on one side than the other, and I figured out a way not to do that, so that's in the pattern. Also, the edging on the sleeves is only 1 row of the decorative edge. It's a row of double crochet, a row of the decorative edge, and then a row of single crochet. And on this row of single crochet, you can pull in the end of that sleeve. Like if the sleeve you think has too large a diameter here, you want it to be pulled in a little bit, which I did. On this, I decreased every 5th stitch on this particular edging on the sleeves, on both sleeves. Then on the neckline, I did 2 rows of decorative stitch, and then I actually did 1 row of double crochet all the way around, and I did some decreasing there in different spots, and I tell you that in the pattern as well. But there are 2 rows of decorative stitches that are not decreased, and then the single crochet row up here is decreased heavily. So that brings in the neckline. You don't want your neckline to be flopping out. Sometimes when you use a decorative stitch and you don't want to decrease because it would be too difficult, it's just confusing, you just do a row of that, and on the next row you would do your decreasing. So I did heavy decreasing on this last row of single crochet, and it brought that neckline right in, so it looks just fine. See, it's not flopping out. It was originally, though. When I first finished these 2 rows, I thought, oh, that's a mess. But you know, if you use a single crochet row around the top and decrease all along there, it will pull in that neckline so it will lay flat against your chest. You don't want it to be hanging out like that. It's not professional. It doesn't look right. You want to decrease this last row and pull in your neckline. Now at the bottom, I did 3 rows of decorative stitches, and then a starter row, 3 rows of decorative stitches, and then the body of the sweater. The body of the sweater is done in double crochet. Now, turning around, she looks just the same on the back because you make both pieces very similar to each other, only on the front, of course, you do your neckline. The back is just crocheted straight up, and then the edging, of course, brings in the top up here so that it lays flat against your neck. And there are only, I guess you'd say there are 4 seams. There's 1 seam from the neckline to the sleeve hem on each side, and 1 seam under the sleeve and on the side. Now I know some people don't like to sew, but it's a good opportunity to learn how to sew your knitted projects together. You're not always going to be crocheting. Some of you may knit, and you probably already know how to knit hats and things like that. You might need to seam something, so it could be that you don't need to know that, but when you're learning to create knitwear for yourself, you have to at least be open to sewing a seam. It's okay. Everything doesn't have to be in the round, although I think that's fun and all to crochet in the round. It's nice, and you wouldn't get this disparity of stripes along the side. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's fine, but there are other ways to crochet. And, you know, down the road I'll probably be throwing in some patterns like that. But right now I find it easier to do the flexible crochet, which is the crochet pattern that will fit anybody. All you do is take your measurements and you write them in where I say into the pattern, and then you know where to stop crocheting, how many inches to crochet across. You don't use stitch counts on this pattern or any of my patterns that I know about. I don't think there are any stitch counts. There might be a multiple somewhere here or there, but mostly the stitch counts I'll leave to the other designers. I like to design clothes that anybody can make for themselves and that will fit their body. The length, the width, and the sleeve length that they want, and the neckline depth that they want. Some people like a lower neckline than others. Some like a much higher neckline. Now this neckline starts right here. It starts just above where the sleeves were started, right here, about 7 rows up. I think I started the neckline, but when I added all these rows of decorative stitches and single crochet, double crochet, it pulled in the neckline quite a bit. But that's okay because this is a winter top, it's a fall top, and it's made from wool, so I naturally wanted it to cover more neckline. But on the original, which is this one, I'm actually wearing this with a tan tank top underneath because it's a little chilly today, but I wanted to wear one and let Crystal model the others. This is more of a summer top. This has a much wider neckline, but it's the same neckline as that. It's just that that has a wider edge on it. It's about this wide, so it came way up here like that. But on this one, I just put a very small edging around the neckline, the sleeve hem, and the bottom of the sweater. And all this is in the pattern. I've tried to show you 2 different ways to make it, so that you can choose which way you want. Now you can make this one totally simple without any decorative stitching on it at all. And you could do this one with decorative stitching as well. So you can do it either way. I just wanted to be sure that I wrote it all down for you and you could choose in the pattern which way you want to build your garment. Now this again is more of a worsted weight. This is a number 2 weight, lightweight, beautiful you, which is of course not available anymore. Which I'm very sorry about, but I made this in beautiful you and I love it. Maybe someday somebody might come along with another yarn very similar to it, and one of you might put in the comments if you know of a yarn that's similar to beautiful you, made from I think it was nylon or acrylic and nylon, and it's a number 2 weight, so it's very small, very cool for summer. I left this with an open neckline, and this one is not. This was more of a fall and winter top. So again, the pattern will be out on Etsy. Probably by the time you see this video, the pattern will be on Etsy. And if you are in the community, you will have an offer code in your inbox, in your email. And that offer code will give you a substantial discount on this pattern or any other pattern you want, as long as this offer code is in effect. And the offer code will expire probably a week from this coming Saturday. It will probably expire a week from this Saturday. So if you are looking at some other patterns and you want to get them much more affordably, you can do that with this offer code. So it's good on any pattern in my shop. And I'm just thrilled to get this out there. I gave the title a beautiful name, Beautiful You, and I decided to just go with that name. So I'm calling it Beautiful You. and I hope you like it. Moving along in my late week video, I wanted to show you what I received from Doris at Rose Cottage Studio. I got that right this time, Rose Cottage Studio. She every now and then will send me a beautiful package of something for Happy Mail, and I'm just thrilled to have it. This is the Premier Eversoft. She sent 4 skeins of this. Each skein has 270 yards. It is 100% acrylic. It's a number 4 yarn. Like I said, it's 150 grams per skein. And this is some of the softest yarn I have felt in a long time. Very, very soft. It's called Eversoft by Premier. And the colorway, let me find the colorway on here. The colorway is Mist, M-I-S-T. The colorway is Mist. So Doris, thank you ever so much. This is the Eversoft, and thank you for sending this. She sent 4 skeins, and so I have to find out what I want to make from that. I have some ideas. I haven't decided yet. I just opened it yesterday. So thank you again, Doris, for sending that. I will put a link to her YouTube channel down in the description box. Again, thank you, Doris, for that beautiful gift. Speaking of gifts, Terry from Utah, you know who you are, sent me a wonderful gift in the mail not too long ago. She sent 3 bags of stitch markers. And must have heard me say, I never can find any stitch markers. Most of the time, my stitch markers are on whips, which is works in progress. If you're new to my channel, it's works in progress. We call those whips, W-I-P-S. And I have a lot of stitch markers, but they're on my projects, usually at the neckline or somewhere else where I've needed to use a lot of stitch markers. So Terry took it upon herself to send me 3 bags of stitch markers, and these are so gorgeous and they're useful as well. Now these are really pretty, and I will put a picture of all of these over here on the screen, but while I'm doing that, I want you to see these up close. This is a bag of stitch markers that have little sayings on them like love and family, things like that. Love that, Terry. Thank you so very much. And the picture over here, I have them all laid out. And then another bag with some beautiful colored beads at the bottom. And these are stitch markers that have letters on them. I like to use letters to describe my clover hooks. I like to use letters like this is a PQ. I don't always look at the millimeters on here, 15 millimeters. This is what I start my show with on the Hook Crochet YouTube videos. And these have the letters noted on there, so I can place these on a garment, and then I don't have to keep my hook in the bag, and I don't have to write it down, because a lot of times I forget to write down the hook. I think, oh, I'll remember that, and then I don't remember it when I go back to work on that particular whip. So thank you, Terry, for that. And then also another bag of silver color. These were gold, and these are silver colored, and I'll give you a close-up of one of those. I hung it on the outside here. So there's the hook number, the hook letter I, and a little bead at the bottom. And these are the connectors that I like the most, that you just pull them apart and put them back on there. You don't have to have a broken fingernail every time you use them. But these are really super nice. Thank you, Terry. And again, I put the picture out there so you could see it. And I also posted that on Instagram. And I want you to visit my Instagram site if you want to go out there and see the progress that I'm making on some of my projects. I don't always put it out there, but I do like y'all to see what I'm doing between videos. So what I'm doing, I usually try to take a photograph and put it out on my Instagram post. So be sure you follow me out there and join up just to see what's going on. I don't bombard you with Instagram posts every day, but I do like to put the ones out there that will show the progress that I'm making on my project. Again, thank you, Terry from Utah. Thank you, Doris from Rose Cottage Studio, for those 2 very wonderful gifts. Now, a quick look at a new work in progress that I have. You know I love the new shiny things. And I come up with an idea in my head, and I decide to make something. I start it right then. I start writing down my notes so that I'll know what I need to put in the pattern. Now, I found some of this. I went through my stash and was looking for City Tweed. I had talked about a blue coastal color City Tweed that I was working on a project last video. Here it is right here, still on my desk, but this is the coastal color City Tweed, very beautiful, and I'm working on a little sweater for that. I came across 10 balls of this DK weight City Tweed in the romance color, and oh, is it gorgeous. Look at that. It's kind of almost a pinky red, but not really too pinky, a little bit orange, and it has quite a bit of tweed in there, different colors of white and black, and there's a little bit of beige in there as well. So I'm using this in my next design, and I want to show you what I've done so far because I really like it. It's a side-to-side cardigan, short cardigan jacket. Now you can obviously make it as long as you want, and that's a great option if you want to do that. There are no stitch counts on here either, but this is the fabric that I've come up with. This is the fabric, and you'll have to wear something under this, either a white shirt or a turtleneck or a t-shirt, and it's going, the lines are going to go this way, and then the sleeves are going to be very special. I can't wait to show you the sleeves on this one. So this is one of the panels that I've created so far. I did this in maybe a couple of days. I really like the stitch pattern on here. It's beautiful, and you can see through it a little bit. It makes it kind of drapey. So it's going to be probably about the length of this beautiful U right here. It's probably going to be about that long. And then I'm going to add some rib along the bottom and then around the neckline and on the sleeves. So it will be a little bit longer than that. And for some of you who like longer cardigans, that will work out great. And you can also add a few inches to it. Not a problem. You might have to buy some more yarn, but this is a DK weight. So if you are in the market for a cardigan, you might be looking for some DK weight yarn. I think that it's going to take me about 9 balls of this. There are 123 yards on a ball, and if I'm using 9, that means that I'm going to need about 1,100 yards for this cardigan. And at first glance, that will be the amount that I need. So 11 or 1,200 you might pick up, or even more than that if you get a bargain on some DK weight yarn. You can buy it and be ready for it because this is going to be coming out pretty soon. I like that. I think I'm going to try to publish this next. So this will be my next pattern. I'll have it named by Monday probably so I can refer to it. And that's the very next one that I'm going to put out. Another cardigan. Y'all love cardigans, so I'm going to be putting some cardigans out there in different styles that you can try to crochet yourself. So that'll be the next project that I'll have on my Etsy shop. But don't forget today, this one came out, Beautiful You. It should be out there right now on Etsy. The notice is probably in your inbox now in an email, so be sure to look for that. And there'll be an offer code on there for you to use. So that's about it for today. This is a late week video, so I just grabbed some things. I thought I wanted to talk about these, and I also wanted to release this pattern today. That's the main thing that I wanted to do, and not just put it out there. I wanted to do another video and show you more detail. So join me again on Monday to find out what's on the hook.